the backstory of Harlem Nights. I'm telling you that Rashawn Connor's a whole ninja. He a whole ninja. I hope he walk around with a hammer, because he making a lot of mother hunchies bad. I mean, a lot of mother hunchies are dead, but I mean, Hello lovers, if you have not already done so, please like and share this video, because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. Now, let's talk about comedy history, okay? Ooh, this is gonna be good. So, you know, comedy hype. Child, DJ Vlad, baby, you need to, I don't know, I think you need to start working at the Safeway and, you know, in the meat section or something, baby. I mean, anyway, comedy hype is knocking them all out the way, okay? They are the juggernauts right now, you know, because you know why I love comedy hype is because DJ Vlad took a hip hop perspective, but comedy hype is taking a comedy perspective. So I like that. And you know what I want to know? I want to know if comedy hype pays their people, but it's like a higher caliber of person. DJ Vlad, it's like he picked any, you know, dipper head, say, come on through, let's talk about it. You know you need some clout, come on, you know I get the views, come on. You know, I mean, shucks, till I get paid, you don't, that's just, you'll be okay. Fuck it, go back to the apartment or your mammy's basement. Go back, because you worth the same amount of money now that you will be later. Comedy Hype released another video with Rashawn Khan, you know, Richard Pryor's bodyguard.
And I remember Richard saying to me, Eddie don't like me. He don't like me, he don't like me. And I was like, what do you mean he don't like you? You know, the magazines, and I'm going on, they put it in the magazine. That's spin. That's not truth. That's, you know, and so Richard said he don't like me. And I would show him different articles and here's things as Eddie's saying, and Richard would look at me like, you've been around the shit long enough to know that shit that they're saying, that's not coming from Eddie. And then when we did Harlem Nights, I was still working with Richard at the time. And we went to Eddie's house in Bubble Hill. And Eddie knew he was there, and it took Eddie about an hour and a half, 2 hours to come down from his office, and I knew the house. And Richard turned to me and he said, the only reason I'm staying here is so that you see that this motherfucker really don't like me. And he was saying, Eddie's disrespecting me now, but I want you to see it. And then him waiting was kind of a sign. You disrespected, because we both know how this movie should go. And this is something that was set up, and you know I'm coming. And you know what time I'm going to be there. And you know this is a big project for you not to come down for like 2 hours. You know, sounded like he was trying to mind me. That's what it was, but you couldn't, because Richard was way ahead of that. He's your elder, Eddie. What you know about Richard is his performance. You don't know nothing about Richard the man. And that's what Richard was saying, why Eddie didn't like him. He don't know me the man. The man wouldn't stay here and wait for this motherfucker. But the artist, in terms of the money and what we're going to do, and Harlem Night was a good picture, I'll wait for that. But he's made it real clear to me. I just want you to see. And then when Eddie came down, Eddie was laughing. And, you know, Richard just looked at me because the laugh wasn't real. But I also, from being around Eddie, I knew Eddie didn't know how to go about this. Is one of your idols. And Jed Clampett gonna put you in charge of your idol. So it was an awkwardness for Eddie to be the director of that. You know, you're directing Richard Pryor, you're directing Red Fox. These are the idols. And so there were a lot of times I would look at Eddie on the camera, you know, standing behind there where the director was, wanting to be on the floor where they was. Because on the floor, it really went on. The funny shit went on. The history was happening. That was one of the few films that you wish they could have shot the behind the scenes because of what Red Fox was sharing. The different things that went on. And you would see Eddie, even if he don't admit it, wish he could have been right there while they was talking. And what he could have added to it. So he was like a young person watching the masters. You know, but the ego part of it is, I'm directing y'all. Really.
This is a pretty big deal, because we all know how groundbreaking Harlem Nights was. We all know to see all of our favorites in one movie was amazing. It was Jeal0us, it was Richard Pryor, it was Red Fox, it was, what's that guy named? Robin Harris. It had, I think, both his brothers in it. I know it had Charlie Murphy in it, and then it had, I think, another one of the Murphys in it. It had the guy with the red hair, not Red Grant. He wasn't old enough, from DC. He wasn't old enough, but I forget his name. I'm going to put it there. But he pretty much, Eddie Murphy is the only comedian that is still left alive right now because, like I said, they were the greats. You did? So what I got from that clip, ooh, Eddie, you know you are my number one, but I'm gonna have to put you down to 1.5 or 1.75 now and raise up Martin or something like that, because I'm kind of looking at you sideways because I thought you had enough security within yourself to know that you do not have to put somebody down to boost yourself. So what happened was, according to Rashawn Khan, was that Eddie Murphy had came up with the idea of Harlem Nights, right? Now, as you know, Richard Pryor, when did Harlem Nights come out? Let's see. So in 1989, this was not a time where Richard Pryor was at his best, okay? If you don't know, this was right at the time where Richard Pryor's disease had started taking over, but he was still able to function. Because remember, nobody could quite get what was wrong with Richard Pryor. Like, it was like something about him is not right. Like, something's a little off about Richard. Now, we love the fact that he was in the movie, but something was not right. His MS had not kicked quite all the way in yet. He was still able to function. Dig? But later on, once we realized, or once the diagnosis of MS came out, then we started to get it. Then now we're able to look at it and be like, I get it. He's not blinking. He's not blinking throughout the entire movie. So that's what it was. And it was something so subtle that I guess we were just so excited about the fact that Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and all of the greats were in one movie. We were just excited and we overlooked it. But we still kept it in mind like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So then we get to the part where there's the invite. You have Rashawn Khan and Richard Pryor at Eddie Murphy's house. Eddie Murphy leaves Richard Legendary Pryor there sitting waiting on the couch for Eddie Murphy for 2 hours. Richard Pryor says to Rashawn Khan, see, I told you, he don't like me. And just out of respect, as an elder, you do not have Richard Pryor waiting for 2 hours. I don't give a fuck if he was Buck Rogers. You don't have somebody that is considered a great or an elder waiting for you for 2 hours. But see, you have to keep in mind that this was not the time where Richard Pryor was his hottest. Eddie Murphy was on top. So basically what's going on is Harlem Nights gave an opportunity to all the, I hate to say it, but the has-been legends to come back around and be reminded of how powerful they are. Part is, before we move on to the next part, it was strange that he made himself the son of Richard Pryor. It's like an envy / admiration thing, but I don't know, I don't know. So then we're gonna move on to while they was filming. Rashawn Khan also said that when Eddie Murphy was behind the camera or behind the cameraman directing, because he was a cast member and the director of the movie. We all know that Harlem Nights was his movie. We know this, right? But it was times where Rashawn Khan said that he could see the green-eyed monster in him because he wanted to be able to participate in the conversation with the greats. But he couldn't because he was a new kid on the block. He knew that he would not fit because he was not like them. It happens. But see, what Eddie Murphy does not understand is that all you had to do is just play your role. Play your role. Now, you're hot right now, and they may be has-beens now or then now. You know what I'm saying? But play your role. Learn. Get in good with them. Never mind. It's all my God. Always my freezer. Always my ice maker interjecting on the bus. Rashawn said he could see the envy or the green-eyed monster in Eddie Murphy's eyes because he was jealous because he couldn't join in on a conversation. Just play your role in life. Don't never be envious of anybody. All you had to do is just play your part. Play the part that God gave you to play. Never be envious over that over there, because as we did not know that, you know, Red Fox had a lot of money problems, you know. Red Fox needed that movie. You know, they really did. A lot of them people really needed that movie. And I will never take away from the fact that he gave those people the opportunity to be relevant. It's disturbing to me, or disappointing to me, to find out the truth. What is it? What year is this? 2000? Is it 2019? What is it? 30 years later? Yeah. 30 years later, we find out the backstory of Harlem Nights. I'm telling you, that was Sean Connery's a whole ninja. He a whole ninja. I hope he walk around with a hammer, because he making a lot of mother hunchies bad. I mean, a lot of mother hunchies are dead, but I mean, Tell me what you think about the situation. Tell me, do you think that Eddie Murphy was envious at the time because he could not connect with the greats? Because he actually was the new kid on the block in regards to the greats. He was, 1989. He probably was almost 30 or 30 around that time. And most of them was like in their 50s or 60s, you know. So I still love Eddie. I can't wait for his Netflix movie to come out, or his Netflix stand-up to come out. I think he's going to kill it. I can't lie. I think he's going to kill it. Anyway, guys, if you have not already done so, please like and share this video, because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. Now, remember this. The same people you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. Naysayers, my patron loves. Have a good one.